Hello everyone, how are you doing? Dear student, today I am feeling very happy. You know what? The time your parents call me, time you call me inquiring about different concept and they discuss with me that the status of education that you have achieved or considerable amount of time that you are spending on your studies, they give this all credit to me and my chest become wider and wider. Thank you very much for supporting me. Thank you very much for remaining with me and thank you very much for staying at home following the instructions as per the Health Authority and our Honorable Prime Minister. So without wasting time, I would like to start the second part of accounting terminologies. In last lecture, we have learned about 10 most important concepts of accounting. In this lecture, we will be studying about 20 next important concepts of accounting. Without wasting time, let me come to the point. Very first, we are going to discuss about income. Income means excess of revenue from the sales of goods and services. That means whatever money we receive from the sales of goods and services, if it exceeds the cost of goods sold or the cost or expenditure incurred in production of goods services, that is called our income. You may also term it as gross profit. Then we talk about profit. Profit means excess of total revenue over total expenditure. Total revenue is different from the revenue. Revenue includes just that amount which is received or receivable from the sales of goods and services, whereas total revenue includes revenue and plus non-operating incomes like interest received, dividend received from investment, commission received from the client, profit on sales of fixed assets. So total revenue minus total expense. Total expense means not only cost of goods sold but operating expenses that we incur at our office and non-operating expenses and losses like loss on sales of fixed assets. That is called our profit. Profits are revenue in the nature. That means they are related to the income or expense of a particular accounting year. Now we are going to talk about gains. Gains are those profit which are earned by a business entity as a result of incidental transactions or non-recurring transactions. You may call these gains, they are profits of capital nature. These transactions are like sales of fixed assets, increase in the value of fixed assets, or when we are revaluating our fixed assets, if we find their market value much more than the price at which we bought them. That is called gain. Or you may say when we win a case that was filed against us or that was filed by us against any third party. So all these incidental gains, profits are called gains. Then we are going to talk about loss. Loss is a broad term. See, here we have classified profit into two categories, revenue profit and capital profit. But the term loss has two meanings in itself. It includes revenue losses and it also includes capital losses. Revenue losses means when our cost of goods sold, that means manufacturing cost or transformation cost increase our revenue from sales of goods and services, that is called loss. But when we experiencing incidental losses, or you may call them activities which gives us no benefit, like loss of stock by fire, loss of building by fire, loss of goods during transit, loss by thief, all these are of non-recurring items and called capital losses. Both these terms are imbibed into a single word called loss, in which we are having revenue as well as capital loss itself. Then we are talking about purchase. In accountancy, we cannot use the word purchase for purchase of assets. The word purchase is only used for acquisition of those goods in which we are trading. For example, if we are a furniture store and we are buying wooden block, nails, etc., that is called purchase for us. If we are buying a building and we are a furniture store, that will not be called as for purchase. That transaction or purchase of assets will always be written in the name of asset itself. They will never be written as purchase. Purchase means purchase of acquisition of those goods in which we are trading. If we are a beauty parlor and we are buying cosmetic items, that is called purchase for us. But if we are buying resting chairs, sofas and couches, that is not called purchase for us. That is called sofa, chairs and building for us. Okay, so procurement of assets are never going to term as purchase. Purchase word will be used only for procurement of raw material and ready to sell goods in which we are dealing. Then we are going to discuss about purchase return. Any quantum of goods that we return back to our supplier due to various reasons, maybe due to poor quality, delayed delivery, or goods are not according to the configuration which they send to us or which we send to them. Owing to these reasons, we have right to return those goods which were purchased from the supplier earlier to back them. Here we are going to talk about sales. Sales means transfer of ownership or title in goods to the customer. That is called sales, or transfer of ownership of goods and services to the customer is called sales. Sales return means when our customer return back those goods to us which were earlier sold to them due to some reason or allowance which we had provided to them, called sales return. Purchase return are also called return outward. They are going outward, and sales return are called returns inward. Here we are having stock in trade. You may call it stock or stock in trade. Both are one and same. Stock in trade means purchase of those goods which are ready to sell. That means no transformation is going to take place in them and which remain unsold at the end of year. The word stock or stock in trade refers to those goods which are purchased for resale purpose. They are ready to sell but remain unsold at the end of year. Those goods are called stock or stock in trade. Here we are going to talk about inventories. Inventory is a broad term. It includes stock in trade besides the inventories of raw material which is to be transformed into finished goods. Inventory of work in progress means raw material which has been placed into machine but has not come out completely as finished goods from the machine, or finished goods, that means goods which are in-house production but remain unsold at the end of year, like stock in trade. So these four elements are the part of inventories: stock in trade, inventories of raw material, inventories of work in progress, and inventory of finished goods that are produced by our concern itself. Then we are having trade receivable. Trade receivable means any amount that is receivable to the firms on the account of credit sales to the customer. It may have two elements. That means those customers to whom we have sold goods on credit basis, either they may extend written consent to us that they are going to make payment after a specific period or on a specific date in the future, or there are some customers who do not take any such kind of initiative. That means they do not specify that when the payment is going to be received from them. So those customers who do not give any written consent or do not accept the authorization by us are called debtors. But the customer who gives us written consent or accept the authorization by us are called bills receivables. Here we are having trade payables. That means any amount that is payable to the suppliers on the accounts of goods purchased on credit, not cash. Creditors may also be of two types. Those to whom we have given written consent that yes, we shall make payment after a specific period or on a specific date in the future are called bills payable. But those creditors to whom we have not extended any written consent that we are going to make payment after this date or after this period are called creditors. Here we are having goods. Goods means procurement of those things which are ready to sell, means purchased for resale, or those goods which are to be transformed into finished goods first, then they are to be sold. That means purchase of raw material and stock in trade are called goods when they are existing in the business entity. Here we are having cost. Cost can be defined as direct expense. It means those expenditure which are incurred on or attributable to a specific activity or to a specific thing. That means purchase of raw material and its transformation into finished goods. Whatever cost we have incurred on making goods ready for sale is called cost. That means manufacturing cost is called cost. Expense incurred on purchase of raw material and transformation of it into finished goods is called cost. Here we are having vouchers. Vouchers are those printed documents which are developed in the name of concern itself. They are prepared or filled on the basis of source document evidencing the occurrence of transactions. Voucher generally authorized to pay. They are prepared in the name of company. They are having voucher number. They include date, name of parties, and accounts and amount which are going to be debited and credit. It involves the sign of accountant as well as sign of authorizing managers to pay. That is called voucher. On the basis of voucher, we record transaction first time in the original books of account like in journals. Here we are having source documents. Source documents means those documents which are evidencing occurrence of a transactions, like whenever we are selling goods to our customer on cash basis, we give them cash memo, or whenever we are purchasing goods on credit from our supplier, we receive from our supplier invoice. When we deposit money in the bank or on the counter of bank to the clerk, we receive paying slip. When we are giving salary to our employees, then we give them salary slip. All these are called source document which provide basis for preparing or developing vouchers. Here we are having discount. Discount means amount of rebate or allowances given to the buyer by the seller. It may be of two types of trade discount and cash discount. Trade discount means the rebate or allowances that is given to all the customer at a fixed percentage on the list price or the catalog price. Whatever we are having catalog, if we are giving rebate of a specific percentage to all the customer on this price, that is called trade discount receivable to all the customer, indifferent of whether they are making cash payment or they are not making cash payment. That means they are purchasing on credit. Cash discount is the second type of discount which is recorded in the books of account. Cash discount is that discount which is given to only those customers who either making payment in cash for the goods purchased by them or promise to make payment in a specified period of time. If they make that payment in that specified period, then they are entitled to receive cash discount. Trade discount is never recorded in the books of account, whereas cash discount is always recorded in the book of account. Then we are having GST. GST is a recent phenomenon in Indian economy. It is basically an indirect tax, single point indirect tax introduced in India in order to remove the cascading effect of large many indirect taxes. They were creating tax system complexity and large many hurdles on the part of taxpayer. They have to rush to different windows. They had to take advice of different chartered accountants and tax advisor. Now we have introduced or clubbed all those indirect taxes into single indirect tax that is payable at the time of purchase and deposited by the seller or collected by the seller and then deposited in the exchequer of government. Here we are having solvent. It is called solvency actually, solvency and insolvency. Solvency means a situation in the life of a person or a business entity which specify their ability to pay back their debt. That means if I have taken a loan of rupees 2 lakh from the bank for buying a new bike and I do have capacity and property to pay it back on the time as per the terms of loan, that means I am solvent. If I am not having capacity to pay back my debts or the loan taken by me or the goods purchased by me on credit, that means I have become insolvent. I do not have payment capacity, that means I am insolvent. If I do have payment capacity or repayment capacity, that means I am solvent. Entry. Entry means recording of business transactions on the basis of voucher or source document in the original books of account, like in the cash book, in the purchase book, in the sales book, in the PR book, in the BP book, or in the journal proper. That is called recording of transactions. In next lecture, we are going to complete this chapter of accounting terminologies. I'm sure you will do all that what I asked from you through this lecture, and you will stay at home. Don't disappoint me anytime. Today I'm very happy because I got a positive response from you all. Thank you very much for remaining with us. We will meet soon. Till then, goodbye. Have a good time. Enjoy your studies.